But I wanted to talk to you about Giant Angora fiber and the wool structure. But first, just a few announcements. It'll be really quick, I promise. Well, kind of. I'm Tammy Vaughn with Sinfully Soft Yarns and Fuzzy Vaughn's Farm. And so, number one, I want to talk to you a little bit about some minor tweaks I'm doing to my website. Sinfully Soft and Fuzzy Vaughn's. Most of you know one or the other or both, but I'm slowly moving things from Fuzzy Vaughn's to my Sinfully Soft website because many reasons. One is I have to pinch my pennies. My husband and I are both retired. Well, kind of. And so, maintaining two websites just doesn't make sense financially. And where I'm going to move away from selling rabbits, not altogether, but I have another avenue I'm going to use. So I don't need the open herd website. Now, if any of you that are raising rabbits and just getting going, I would strongly recommend open herd. It shines as far as being able to showcase your animals in a great way. And their customer support is phenomenal. I've called them numerous times, left them messages, and they always get back to me right away. It's a small operation in Pennsylvania, and I like supporting U.S. companies, and especially the little guys, and they're one of the little guys, and they do it right. One of the things they don't have the capability of marketing things as well for merchandise. And that's where I jumped to Etsy some time ago, took that dive, and it works really good. I like Etsy. Yeah, they take some of your money for all these fees and whatnot, but to take the pain of designing a website and managing everything, they do it really well. So it was worth it to me. So number one, I'm moving from Fuzzy Vaughn's slowly but surely. So number one, I have my animals that are for sale are going to be on Sinfully Soft. Here, I think later today, I'm going to take them off of open herd because it's working pretty good. I've tested it and I like it. So open herd is the way it's at. It's, if you're starting out. So if you're looking for any of my rabbits that are for sale, they'll be listed on Sinfully Soft. And of course, Discord. I'll be advertising them there first. So if you're on my Discord server, you'll see that. I got to look at my notes. So I'm diving into more of the merchandise stuff and online courses. I have a lot of stuff in my head just exploding. I've even ironed out the logistics of a lot of stuff, and I just haven't published it yet. So I think there's a reason why I was taking my time, because the timing is now. I can put everything on Sinfully Soft, and I think it's going to work really neat. So if you haven't heard of my Angora Artesian Academy, I did a lot of stuff with that a year ago, and then I dropped the ball and did other stuff. So I'm going to pick that ball back up, and I'm going to move it, to Sinfully Soft. You're going to see more of that stuff happening. And part of that academy is I'm going to relaunch my Mastering the Art of Giant Angoras course. I did a course in person at Oregon Flock and Fiber last year, and it was a hit. I really enjoyed it. And it was a little different talking to people in person for about 3 hours versus online via Zoom, which this course is. Um, so it was a little different, but it was still really good. I've learned a lot since my first online course. So I'm very optimistic. May 27th, that's going to hit. It's going to be a 4-week Zoom course. And if you're not able to attend, it will be recorded. And yeah, it's going to be great. I'm really looking forward to doing that again. I've chosen to do it Wednesdays at 5 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. And again, if you're thinking you'd like to sign up but can't attend at that time, it will be recorded and you can watch it later. Yeah. Okay, so that's it for Sinfully Soft. 2, on my Etsy shop, I've put up some new listings. I'm really excited to help Andrea and her team for the Broken English Angoras. My goal is to have 3, so I need to have one more listing up later today. But there's currently 2 shirts, one short sleeve, comfort colors for her Broken English, cracking the code design that she did, and also a long sleeve shirt, comfort colors again. And later this afternoon, there'll be a hoodie. So check that out. You can be part of the cool kids, especially as we're ramping up for our convention and whatnot. So you can order that on my Etsy store, and that's under Fuzzy Vons. Yeah. And I already talked about the new class. Oh my gosh. And this weekend, oh my gosh, before I dive into that, on Discord, I am bringing back to life my weekly giveaways. I started it a while back, and again, I dropped the ball. So here's another ball picker-upper. I'm going to get it because I had some fun. I gave away a lot of little nicks and stuff, little things, some big things, not so big, but I'm diving into stickers, so that's my new favorite thing. I'm going to have stickers on my Sinfully Soft website soon. So somebody's on there, I see. So if you can give me a thumbs up if you can hear me. That's the only thing I haven't figured out how to verify once I go live. That needs to go on my list. So anyway, giveaways on Discord. Yeah. As I'm cleaning and reorganizing, I don't know if you noticed, but over here to my side was my junk catcher, kind of. A friend of mine told me I needed to clean my back up. It's my backdrop. And once she mentioned that to me, every time I was watching my videos, it's like, oh my God, it's bad. So I'm over the next several videos and in the next month or so, you'll see some changes. It's going to get there. Yeah. So Discord, as I've been cleaning house, one of my favorite books is this one, Wear Luxury Fibers by Judith McKenzie. It is awesome. It was so awesome as I was designing or putting together one of my courses a while back. I think it was on the Giant one. I couldn't find it, so I had to, right? I ordered another one. Well, since I've been cleaning house, I found my old one. So this new one, it's only been read a little bit. So it doesn't have any highlighting marks and folded pages. It's in pretty good condition. I'm going to give that away on my Discord channel this week. So later today, and this will be published tomorrow, so it'll still be up there tomorrow. The way the Discord giveaways work is I publish the giveaway, and all you have to do is a single click, and you're entered. And then in 7 days, Discord has a little robot inside there that automatically selects the winner. So, yeah, I was scrambling thinking, how can I do little fun giveaways? Because I'm finding extra things I just don't need. I need to give away. And there you go. Discord. I've already got it. So it's going to work slick. And I need to make an announcement, you guys. In looking at my top favorite books, this is one of my favorites. How I missed this years ago, but I found this when I was doing a deep dive getting my information. The Northern California Angora Guild Angora Handbook. Did you know they have a second edition? I had the first edition that I bought, a decade ago. And the second edition has a copyright of 1990. So it's an oldie, right? This is 2023. It's 30 years old. And as I've been reviewing this, it's rock solid. Now, Betty, I talked to her and I verified again this morning. She has a few that are still in the cellophane, you guys. They're brand new. And it doesn't have the spiral. I bought this on eBay, I think it was eBay. And somebody had put the spiral on it, which I actually really love this. Whoever did that, I like it. But the ones that Betty has are brand new. It's a paperback. And she's asking $50 and $10 for shipping fee, which is a steal, you guys, for what you get in this information. It's rock solid. Because, even though our Angoras evolve and our methods evolve for grooming and whatnot, there's not a whole lot that have changed. The information that's in these older books are gold. Very, very golden. So in my video, in the description, I'll put an email on how you can get a hold of her. So write this down. English Angora 1, the number 1, just the number 1. So English Angora 1 at yahoo.com. Email her, because once they're gone, they're gone. And it's going to be a shame, because this is really good stuff. It needs to live on. I'm just... And some of the stuff I cover also is this Completely Angora book by Kilfoyle. I'm mispronouncing that name. I know I am. And Leslie Simpson. This has been out of print again. Yep. For quite a few years. And let's see, first printing was 1988. I'm holding on to a copy that was given to Betty from, I think Betty bought it from Leslie Simpson. I'm not sure, but it's signed by Leslie to Betty. So this is not going anywhere. It's staying with me, and it's precious. Yeah. So if you can get your hands on this, it's really good. One last little bit of information before I dive into my stuff is the fur issue in Fly magazine, number 28, in the spring of the year 2020. That was the issue. And if you go on to Fur Magazine's website, you can not only subscribe to the entire magazine, which I would highly recommend. And no, I'm not getting a kickback on any of this. This is just free. This is my favorite stuff I'm sharing with you. But you can also purchase just one issue. And if I was getting into Angoras, or I am into Angoras, that's the one issue that I would buy. Because it is also golden. Ooh, I don't want to put that over there. So, let's get into the nitty-gritty. I've already wasted 15 minutes. How I can do that? Lordy. I teased my husband. I said, how am I going to fill an hour? Because that's my goal, is to have hour sessions, no more than that. We've ran over a few times. And he goes, honey, we have a gift to gab. So here we go. I'm going to get into the nitty gritty. Why we're here today is we're talking about the Giant Angora coat. And it's really, really heavy in my mind because I am preparing a judges conference presentation for this weekend. So this is your last chance. If you want to give me some of your wisdom, guidance, or whatever, things that you want these judges to know, um, yeah, tell me. And I can take your input and try to put it in here. I'm hoping this is working. So I'm just going to carry on. Okay. When we're talking wool type, the giants were made from using the German Angoras. That's where they came from. I call them cousins. I might get in trouble because they're not really, they're distantly related because giants were made from using the German Angoras years ago. The German Association has their standard, and giants belong to Arba in their standard. So all the information that I'm going to share with you is from both. But I'm going to focus mostly on the Arba standard because that's what the giants are, right? So when you talk to people, they have Germans or giants. They're close. They're similar, but they are different in many ways. And then the German Angora standard, the IGARB, that's an acronym. They describe their wool with 4 different types of wool: underwool, on hairs, guard hairs. And the ARBA standard only describes the 3. So because we're focused on giant Angoras, we're going to focus on 3 types. I'm not going to try to get you more confused than you might already be. Because boy, howdy, I'm asked this all the time by judges. How can you tell it has the proper wool structure? And it's like, and I get all tongue-tied and talking about the wool structures, the different kinds. The underwool should be the prominent. You should have plenty of that, more of that than the other 2 combined, because without that, you just have a hairy coat. And actually, I have one out my barn that she ended up being a hairy coat. She has a lot of great qualities, but her coat structure is horrible. And she's actually one I'm going to bring to the conference this weekend. And no, I'm not going to tell you who it is. But she's a good example to the judges of what we don't want in our giant Angoras. Yeah, so for the judges conference, I'm not going to videotape that one, but what I will do once I get home, I will re-record myself and publish it on our YouTube channel. And in that video, I will share with you who that was, who's a bad example, because she'll probably make she'll show up. I also have a boy, Kalua. He's one of my hybrids, and as I was grooming him last week, he has the most perfect wool structure. I actually took some close-up pictures of his wool on a white piece of paper and a black piece of paper, trying to get the wool to show up so I could show him. And he has the 3 types of structure, and he has great furnishings. He's got everything, but he's a chocolate. I can't show him yet. So we need a COD on chocolate giants. You guys want to do that? Just a side note. So he's going to be coming to make kind of a show his stuff. He kind of looks funny because he's been sheared his belly and his dewlap. But I want him to be comfortable because I left the top and sides to grow out. So sometime after the judges conference, he'll get completely naked and probably meet up with some of my girlfriends, my girl rabbits, because he's got everything going on. And a wise rabbit reader told me years ago, You should fill your barn with what you love. Good morning, Tammy. Hey, love. Good to see you. So I've really taken that to heart. Of course, I use the Arbus standards as my ultimate guide, but there's so much left to interpretation as far as wool production and yeah. So I breed what I love, and there's a lot of that goes into the rabbits. There's so many different things. There's the temperament, the body type, the color, the wool structure, which we're talking about today, is one of the most important things. And I don't know. I think my last page, I was doing a little comparison talking about wool structure and the SOP. And I put together a little list here. I won't bore you to death, and you probably can't see the small lettering. But I made a little comparison on the points in the standard, comparing the 4 different breeds, the English, French, Giant, and Satin. An interesting, very interesting, I can talk, I haven't had enough coffee. Interestingly enough, the wool points only vary just like 5 points from all 4 breeds. They're all very important. They're all over 50 points, 50, actually ranging from 55 to 60 on all 4 Angoras. The general type, when they're combining the talk about the body, the head, ears, eyes, feet, tail, that's only 30, 35 points. So the wool is where it's at. And then there's a separate categories, color, interestingly enough, is only worth 5 points. And when we're talking points, we're talking 100 total. So on a 100-point scale, they broke it down into categories. So 5 for color, and condition is 10, with the one exception, Satin Angoras. They only get 5 for condition. And I think, I don't want to read into this, but I'm thinking the reason it is they added a 4th category to satins, and I won't talk about it too long, but it's worth mentioning because satins are different because of their sheen. So they have a 4th category, and they get 15 points underneath the wool for just the sheen. So I'm thinking that's what they did there. So back to the giants. Density, 25 points. Yeah, for density, that's the most important thing ever. Texture is second. That gets 20 points. And you know what has the least amount of points when talking wool? Is the length. It's only 10. I've been doing giants for years, and since I've been really doing this deep dive, I was like, what? And I'm guilty, right? I try to get those massive show coats, right? Because they are attention getters, yada yada. And my mentor, my friend, the goddess, I call her the goddess of English Angoras. You guys, if you're in the Angora world, you know Betty Chu. She has inspired me for years. Just seeing her massive coats and like, oh my gosh, if she can do that with the smallest of the Angoras, why can't I do that with the Giant Angoras? And I've done it, and yeah, they're beautiful. And they it's a struggle. And it's hard on the rabbits too, because they're not meant to do that. Yeah, but it can be done. But when you're looking at the standard, I'm going to talk about the length just a little bit since I'm going off on that. It only gets, how many points did I say? 10. 10 points. It's number 3 on the importance scale for your wool. And in the standard, it says ideal length is to be 4 inches. Now, Angoras, they grow about 1 inch a month. There's some differences, but it is 1 inch a month, give or take a little bit. So it takes 4 months to grow a really good coat. And what I did with my COD presentation a few years ago, I focused on a 5-month coat because that was the 4 inches plus a little bit more. And in reality, I didn't have to do that, but I did. And it worked really good. But any more than 5 inches, you're just pushing yourself and probably wrecking that coat for pushing it too far. That's my opinion. So that's one of the things I'm going to suggest to the judges. Because the number one thing that you should be looking at is density. And there again, the density is dependent, this is my opinion, upon the abundance of underwool. Now, all of the Angoras have underwool. The one thing that is different between the Giants and all the other breeds is Giants has a on fluff. And an easy way to think of that is on fluff. They're fluffy critters on fluff. And that on fluff is right in between the underwool and the on hair. And the on hair, why they called it on hair, I don't know, but they do. So we will too, right? But the on hair is actually guard hair. Synonymous, same thing. When we're talking on hair, it's guard hair. But because it's the standard, we're going to talk the standard terminology. The on hair is the strong, straight hair. It's more like our hair, and it actually holds more of the color generally than the on fluff or the underwool. The underwool is very crimpy, and that's the bunny gold, the on or the underwool. That's just to die for. That makes wonderful yarn, and the more you have that, that'll hold up the on fluff and the on hair, and that's going to give you the major density to that animal. Everything will stand. Often you should blow that coat. Don't get a brush on the top or sides. That'll wreck it. That's not, no, just a blower. Use your brush for things that don't matter as much, and that's the belly, the legs, maybe a little bit on the furnishings, the cheeks, depending on how the bunnies are eating and rubbing up on the cage and whatnot. Bunnies are bunnies. Yeah. So anyway, density is the most important. And did you know, I didn't know this, it's kind of interesting. A normal haired rabbit, let me look at my notes so I make sure I tell you the right information. Where'd it go? It was right here, right in front of me. I even highlighted it. Good Lordy. It's probably right in front of me. But I want to talk to you about here we go. The density. Short-haired rabbits typically have 4 to 8 fibers per cluster. That's per hair, I shouldn't say hair follicle, but the cluster is a bunch of fibers growing out of the same follicle in their little skin. Low yield Angoras will average 6 fibers per cluster. And it's so hard to see, but you can. If you look at your rabbit, and especially those pluckers, you can pull out a cluster and kind of take a look at that. It's kind of interesting. Now, high yield Angoras due to very specific and selective breeding, will have up to 20 fibers per cluster. And those fibers are predominantly the underwool. And of course, the on fluff is the second. Now, the on fluff, let's talk about that. That's the second kind of fiber. It's not as straight as the guard hair, and it's not quite as crimpy as the underwool. It's right in between. It has a little crimp to it. It's like slightly wavy, just slightly. And if you're lucky enough to be able to see the tip of the on fluff, the very tip of it looks like a spatula, like when you're cooking. It kind of has a flat end on the very top. It's hard to describe. But in my video that I'm going to publish next week, I'll have some pictures so you can see it. So those are important. Now, I do want to put a little caution here, because old people like me, I can't see the on fluff. It takes some time and a piece of paper, either a white for a colored rabbit or black paper, dark colored paper for a white rabbit's fur, for me to hold up and actually look, and almost with a magnifying glass, to identify the three different types. So it makes it hard for the judges or for people to actually look at your rabbit to say, oh, it has the proper wool structure. It doesn't, just upon looking at it. And the judges have a really hard job because they're doing an evaluation overall. They're looking over that entire rabbit in 2 to 3 minutes per rabbit. That's from the ears to the tail, top and bottom. They're doing an eval. So yeah, to stop and say that to identify if it has the proper wool structure is going to be tough. And it's all on feel, on what they look and see that day, the day of the show. But you as a breeder will have more time at home. So I invite you to check out the fibers and put it against some either dark paper or white paper, depending on the color that you're looking at, and really take a look at the separate fibers. And if you can look at the clusters, that's even more important. And common sense tells us if you get your hands on a fully coated Giant Angora, 4 inches, we're going to talk 4 inches is ideal, right? All that on fluff and the underwool and a little bit of guard hair sprinkled out uniformly all over the rabbit, it's going to look like a round fluff ball. And it'll be so thick, so dense. And the only way the judge can make sure, I hear this term all the time. At first I was confused. I get confused a lot, but I hear the term the judges use, false density. And that's when it webs and it's starting to mat. So when you feel the rabbit, it feels really dense. Now here's the only way you can check to make sure that it's not that false density or webbed or matted is to blow into the coat to see it, the on fluff and the underwool separate, to see into the skin to make sure it's all free flowing and clean. Now the troubled areas us breeders will come across is the sides and right up in the dewlap area in their shoulders, because they're moving and they have a lot of friction in that area. So that is really hard to keep from matting. So that's one of your key areas. And why they do this, I don't know. But above the tail area, right on their butt, is really dense. You want it really dense all over. But yeah, Mother Nature has different plans. Maybe it's because they can't reach back there and clean themselves. I don't know why. But that whole back area above their tail is another problem area. You have to get in with your blower and try to keep that blown. The more you use a brush, the more you're going to break the fiber and destroy that wool structure. So no brushes. And if you do, very, very minimally. So anyway, that's my take on the under wool, on fluff, and on hair. See, I was going to call it guard hair. Is it clear as mud? Holy cannoli. Another thing, the one thing that the German Angoras, and hence the Giant Angoras, should have is a synchronous coat. And because of a lot of very, very great breeders that are doing very focused work, there is a lot of synchronous coats in the other breeds as well. So it's not just a German or a Giant thing anymore. You're seeing it all across the board. And that's how they can get those humongous coats, because they just keep growing. I've dabbled a little bit over the years with different breeds and doing some hybrid work. And there's pros and cons. The cons is I'm losing that synchronous coat, and I'm working on getting that back. When I see rabbits like Kulua, my chocolate boy, he's joy to my heart because it's just the perfect wool structure. I'm going to say it. It's a German coat. That's what I like. It has 3 types of wool structure. It's dense, and it has beautiful color, and it doesn't molt. Well, I hate to say it doesn't molt because every man rabbit will probably molt eventually. But it's not, if you've ever had long-haired cats or dogs or short-haired dogs, gosh, it starts getting warm, and like here in Washington, it's starting to get warm already. They will molt, and you have hair everywhere. You can count on it. And that's what we don't want in our giants. We don't want to count on that molt, because we want the same length of fiber. When we shear them, you won't be able to pluck them. You shear them, you get the same length of fiber in those locks as you harvest. And you put that in your wool submission for making yarn, and it's going to make beautiful yarn. If you shear right here and you have 2 or 3 different lengths of coat, like one is 2 inches, one is 3 inches, you shear, you're going to get both lengths in those locks when you pull your wool production. That's why one of the reasons is I never ever use my junior wool in wool production for my commercial milling, because I want that junior coats to be stabilized, and when I shear it, I want to have one length, because almost all the time, not 100%, but almost all the time in the juniors, you'll get 2 or 3 layers, lengths of coat. So as a wool production for my yarn, that's what I want. I want a synchronous coat, so I can guarantee when I go to shear, it's going to be that same length. And the other nice thing I've noticed, because I'm no expert in pluckers, but the few that I've had, when they get ready to release their coat, yeah, it's really nice, but it's a pain in the hiney to harvest. My hands get cramped up when I have 1 or 2. It's okay, but when I have a barn full, I can't even imagine doing that all by hand. Yeah. And if you don't catch it right away when they're molting, you can lose that coat. And when I mean lose it, it can be beyond matted and beyond usable. and you lose a lot of your production. So when that rabbit starts to molt, you got to get right on it and harvest it right then. Now, when they're synchronous coats, I can wait a week or 2 or 3 or 4. As long as I keep blowing and keep them comfortable, make sure they're eating and they're nice and healthy and happy. It doesn't have to be right then. So that's the other benefit that I like about synchronous coats. You have a little bit more time freedom. If the grandkids come to visit or you have something come up, you don't like, nope, I have a plucker that's blowing our coat. I have to do that right now. You have a little bit of time. So I hope that helps clarify. Those are the biggest points. And I go into a lot more detail on the fiber consistency and whatnot in my Mastering the Art of Giant Angora course. That's where I got a lot of this. And of course, my first course, not my first one, but the next one, we're going to schedule it for the end of May 27th, which is a Wednesday. And I'm going to do it Wednesdays at 5 Pacific time. They're going to be Zoom recorded. So if you can't make it, you can watch the recorded session later. Yeah, it's going to be fun. The reason I really love our Zoom courses, it had a surprising benefit that I didn't count on, and it turns out to be the only main reason why I want to continue doing the live Zooms with a small group of people, is as we work through the different meetings, the people got to know each other. And even though we might be separated by the entire country and thousands of miles, we have a small network of Giant Angora people. And one gal found out this other gal had a certain color that she just loved, and they were able to hook up. That wouldn't have happened if it wasn't for meeting on my course, I don't think. I mean, yeah. So and we need each other. I need this network even more so now. I'm going to leave you with a note. And this is a drum I'm going to beat. I need some sound effects here. The chocolate goodie is going forward. I'm going to be taking out the paperwork here pretty soon, but I am drumming up enthusiasm for helping me with this. There's one date, well, there's going to be several dates I want you to put on your calendar, but this coming convention, if I get all the paperwork through that I want and everything done, I hope to make the first exhibit later this year in Reno, Nevada at the ARBA convention. And I'll be bringing 8 rabbits. They'll be looking pretty. And hopefully I'll have a bunch of juniors to farm out to other people that might be interested. So if you're interested in joining me, make sure you get on my Discord channel, because that's going to be the only place they're going to be listed. And the other place I want you to look for and put on your calendars is 2028, the ARBA convention. I'm excited. If everything works well, crossing fingers, that'll be my first official presentation for the Chocolate Agouti Giant Angoras. I plan on bringing 25, and within the entire NARBIC membership and beyond, I want a lot of things right. I want peace and love and rainbows and unicorns, but what I want in 2028, I want 100. Yes, I'm nuts, right? I want 100 chocolate agouti giant angoras there, entered and then coat, ready to present. Because the way they rewrote the rules, and I go into a lot more detail on some previous videos from last week. I went on a real long rant. I won't go that deep now, but revisit those other videos because a lot of information. But in a nutshell, it doesn't have to be me or one of the Fantastic Five, I call them, which is my COD holders, the 5 people that are agreed to be part of the COD. It doesn't have to be one of those people's animals anymore. It can be anybody's. Anybody's. Anybody's rabbit. Yeah. You could actually be part of the presentation string. So even if you've been part of ARBA and NARBIC for a year or 3 or 2 or 20, and you're thinking about, I do have chocolatey goodies once in a while, or I think I want a chocolatey goodie. I want to help support the team. Get some and breed some and bring them to convention 2028. Holy cow, it's not even 11, and I think I'm done. You guys, how was that? I don't see any questions. I think we're good to go. I am going to get out of here and do some of my to-dos. And oh, oh, oh. Thank you, Demi. She said, good job. Woo-hoo. All right. I'll let you go. If you're not on Discord yet, join me because there's a lot of things happening, and that's where I'm going to be posting a lot of animals for sale, encouraging other people to network. And yeah, good things are happening, guys. Have a great day and have fun out there.